What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. I'd just like to point one thing out. Who lost faith yesterday? I did, because I tweeted out this. Never tweet in anger, Paul. Never tweet in anger. Anyways, how are we all? It was, excuse me, obligatory sip of the coffee. It was an interesting day yesterday. Football's great, isn't it? Imagine not liking football. How weird must your life be to not actually like football? I don't know. Oh. And it was a weird game overall, in essence, because, I mean, in the first half, obviously we go 2-0 down. We go 1-0 down very early on in the first half and then 2-0 down towards the end of the first half. But in between that, it was just like hell and no notion. It was just, it was end-to-end stuff. It was interesting. In attack, we looked absolutely fine. In defence, we looked a little bit wobbly. And overall, the first half, it was weird. It was a case of just not taking chances. Kamara, Pirot, Somerville, Dan James, to name but a few, just in terms of not hitting the target. And you did kind of wonder as the first half went on, is this going to be, another one of those games the way certain matches end up working out, where it's just a case of it's just not going to be for you today because you've not got your finishing boots on. Then the second half happened, and then 15 minutes into the second half, you're thinking, yeah, this really isn't going to go our way absolutely at all. And then Dan James pops up, being Dan James, slightly overhits the ball, but manages to get to the byline because he's that fast. Cuts the ball back, and then it goes in off Duffy. Couldn't have gone in off a better person as far as I'm concerned. So it goes in off Duffy, and, to make it 2-1, so we're all alive again. And then we do a corner routine that actually works absolutely fine. Somerville gets the ball. Absolutely beautiful curled effort shot. And then third goal comes in with a lovely through ball from Rutter. Somerville's going at a rate of knots towards their defence, and their defence is terrified by this point by now. And then you have Anthony makes a really, really intelligent run, which goes across in front of. So you've got Somerville coming like this, and then you've got Anthony like this, and Anthony cuts across in front of Somerville to make the space, because he pulls two defenders that way, which then makes Somerville cut across and is then able to put the ball in and finish with just, what a day. Just what an absolutely brilliant day. It's great when you win. It just makes it a lot easier. You can sucker the 3-2. Overall, I'm not really upset with any performances. I thought Ampadu probably had his worst game by far, which doesn't even mean that he's had a bad game. Gray really, really struggled, but you have to give, Gray props because he saw it through to the absolute end. It was a masterstroke by Farke to change it to 3-5-2 when we got to 2-2. And we literally just had every attacking player on at this point. And it's just, that's an absolute cheat code to be able to do that. It's just the ability to have that amount of attacking talent in kind of like in one go. I don't know what's going on with my microphone here. To have that amount of attacking talent in one go, just going at a team constantly, was just brilliant for me in terms of what we were able to watch and what we were able to see. We have to talk about Rutter again, he is an absolute cheat code in this league, and I am absolutely here for it, and I'm here for, like I mention this every week now, but the level of consistency in his performances is just off the chart. If he was scoring every week as well, that would be nuts. There was a bit towards the end where he did this weird manoeuvre thing, and I think this is like right towards the end of the game where we're trying to hold on to the ball for as long as is humanly possible, and he kind of does this sort of like pirouette thing and puts his foot on the ball, and then he's just ruined 2 or 3 defenders in one go, and it's just like, how in God's green earth have you actually managed to do that? He's just such a good player. And I saw on LUFC data, on Twitter, just some stats, and it's Rutter ranked for Leeds in the Championship 23-24. Total duels won 60, puts him at number 1. Chances created 28, puts him at number 1. Successful take-ons 23, puts him at number 1. Passes into penalty area 16, joint first. Big chances created 11, first. Goals and assists 6, joint first. Assists 4, joint first. Expected assists is 3.6, first. He's just the player that's in there he's incredible as far as I'm concerned. Very, very good, and very, very pleased with his overall performance. Dan James again was just doing Dan James business. Peru, for me, kind of in and out of the game a little bit too much. I think that he may be, I don't know, it was just maybe just not his day today, but then when you've got all of that attacking talent on and we can do what we did, it almost doesn't even matter. Pascal had a good game. Giving in the captain's armband seems to be working really well for him, so he's really coming to the fore. He's got that level of consistency again in his performance. Rodon probably had his worst game that he's had so far, although he's still not been on the losing side whilst playing for Leeds United. So for me, Rodon probably had his worst game so far. Gray was knackered. You could just tell he was tired, just in terms of the amount of games that he's actually played, the amount of 90 minutes that he's played, and going into a 3-game week again, it's going to be interesting to see how much game time he gets. It's interesting to find out how long we've got until Spence comes back as well. Kamara played okay, but that level of assurancy that we normally have in terms of in the middle of the park when it's Ampadu and Gray, it's completely different. But they like I said, they did all right, and I'm not saying that it was even a bad performance. You can't even critique it, but just the options that we've now got are brilliant. I was saying as well that the game was actually crying out for Bamford, and Bamford did make a bit of a change when he came on. Just his hold-up play and his initial taking of the ball, controlling it and feeding it on to people was quite good to see and really good to watch. I thought Nonto played quite well when he came on as well. He had that really nice little shot into the bottom corner, set up Somerville for the second goal. Is that right? Was that him? Yeah, it was. Into the bottom corner. It was just overall, it was a decent, good team performance in the second half. We did what we had to do and win, and that's the mark of a decent team. We're now up to third, doing really, really well, and we can't knock it. We just have to take each game as it comes and work as hard as we can to get to where we need to go. In terms of the Norwich goals, I thought their first goal was unlucky. Their second goal, Meslier should have done better in terms of letting that shot come in. The goal that was chalked off was fine for me. I don't think there was anything controversial about that. Their player was backing into Meslier, and the ref was actually watching that. I remember watching it live thinking, he's backing in, and then the ball went in, and I just thought, yeah, no, that's definitely a foul, and it was. So that's good. But then it was just, we did the attacking version of parking the bus. So rather than parking the bus, we parked it up top and we just kept going with it and kept going. And it's really, really weird because both Bryn and Tony Dorigo were talking about the comeback in the second half. And I have to say, even though we were 2-0 down and it was bad, I thought we played all right in the second half, but I didn't think that we wouldn't get chances to get back into it. It was really weird. And I've not felt like that for a very, 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 very long time. We also now have to mention the man of the match, Somerville. The level of consistency in his performances, can you say he's one of the best in the Championship, if not the best? He's close to it. He's very, very close to it. I think what we've seen over the last couple of games in particular, for me, I've always said that the weakest part of his game was the tracking back side of things, or the prepared to do the dirty, nitty-gritty work. And he's been doing that a lot more in the last few games that we've played, and it's been really, really good to see. And he's just on fire at the moment, isn't he? And fair play to him. And again, we've talked about this in relation to how everything went with the transfer over a transfer window over the summer. Like Rutter, he kept his head down. He got on with it. He didn't, as far as we were aware, didn't demand to leave, didn't throw his toys out of the cart, even though him and Nonto are like best mates. Everything professional, just kept his head down and got on with it. And he's reaping the rewards for that now. And like I said, if this continues as we are and we manage to either get into the playoffs or get automatic promotion, or get into the playoffs and then get promoted that way, then some of these players will have gone a long way to redeeming themselves, shall we say. And also as well, shout out for Bill and shout out for Cooper, who came on after we got to 3-2 up and just did very, very well just to shut the game out and do what needed to be done to get the 3 points across the road, despite Bill giving the foul away. I nearly had palpitations when that went on, but it's great fun being a Leeds United fan at the moment. It's enjoyable, and you can just see how together the team are and how much they seem to like each other and appreciate each other, which is a really, really good thing. So let me know your thoughts on the game, how you felt we did. Put it down in the comment sections down below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that kind of good stuff. Share the video. Like I said, comment on it as well, because it helps with the algorithm side of stuff. But overall, I'm a happy guy, and it makes weekends much better when Leeds do win. But we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. Take care. Cheers.